Hi there. Today's video is about Curvature Tool. The Curvature Tool is a lot similar to the pen tool. However, is designed to provide a more intuitive and user-friendly experience, particularly for drawing curves. So let's learn how to use it. To understand the basics, we'll first trace the square and the circle before moving on to tracing a logo. Let's pick the Curvature tool from the toolbar, and you shall find it here sitting right next to the pen tool. Ensure that the fill is none, and since the thickness of the stroke of the square and circle is 5 points, I'm going to let the stroke size be 5 points. Alright, now let's see what happens if I treat this tool much like the pen tool, which means a click at the corner, and then another click at the second corner. And as I move to the third corner, look at how it's curving automatically. And I haven't even clicked and dragged much like in the pen tool. So I'm going to ignore the curve and click the third corner and move on to the fourth one. And by this time you can see instead of a square, it is turning into a perfect circle. So let's close it. So what we've learned is that a single click is not good enough for corners. Let's undo to start afresh. Now this time, remember it's a corner and we're using the Curvature tool and not the pen tool. So double click the corner to create the first anchor point. Then holding Shift to ensure a straight line, double-click the second corner to create another anchor point. And this time, when we move to creating the third anchor point, you'll find it not curving like earlier. So double-click for the third one. And to close the shape, just a single click. Because if we double-click to close the shape, this particular corner will turn into a curve. If you're confused by now, just hang in there. Once we move on to creating the logo, you'll have a better understanding to handle the Curvature tool. Now let's move on to tracing this circle here. And trust me, creating circles with the Curvature tool works like a charm. Let's click to create the first anchor point. And remember, it should be a single click this time because it's a circle we're trying to trace and not a square or rectangle or any shape that has a corner. Let's add the second anchor point at the 3 o'clock zone. And now the best part. As you move towards the 6 o'clock zone, which is the third anchor point, you shall find how perfectly the curve aligns to the curve of the tracing. Move on to create the 9 o'clock anchor point, and then close the shape. Here again, closing the shape should happen with a single click. Also remember that most of the commands that work with the pen tool work with Curvature tool as well. So the escape key or command or control click to leave the shape open works with Curvature tool as well. If you haven't watched the last lesson of the pen tool, I suggest you do that as well. Okay, so now we'll trace this logo, which is a logo of our famous brand. And I chose this logo because it has curves as well as corners. So perhaps you'll understand it better. Ideally, I'd create this logo using circles and not the Curvature tool, but since we're discussing the Curvature tool, we'll stick to just the Curvature tool, and I'm sure I'll leave you impressed with this tool. I'm going to let the fill be none and stroke be 5 points. Let's click the corner to create the first anchor point, and remember that it's a corner, so we need to double-click here. We then create an anchor point for this elevation here. And let's see what happens if I single click this corner here. You see how it is trying to create another curve as we move on to creating the next anchor point. So let's double-click the corner to cancel the curve. And then move on to single-click the elevation. Now we're approaching another corner. So remember what you need to do here? Double-click the corner. And we have another corner here. So double-click once again. Moving on, let's single-click this curve. And how beautifully the tool has presented the curve for us. And since we have reached another corner, double-click it. So basically, keep this in mind that corners will need to be clicked twice, unless of course you need a curved corner. Now here I mistakenly clicked off of the tray. So remember what you need to do? We learned it in the previous lesson. We hold Command on a Mac or Control on a PC and click the anchor point that has off-tracked and move it back to the tracing and continue to close the shape. You see how nice it looks? It actually looks as if we made it using shapes and have then carved this shape using the Shape Builder tool. And that's the magic of the Curvature tool. Okay, so let's finish the rest as well. Remember, this is a corner of the shape, so we're going to double-click here. Then single-click the curve, which will present the next curve automatically. As we approach the next corner, again, double-click. And then repeat the process to close the shape. Perfect. Let's hide the original tracing image. And there you go. You've just created the logo using just one tool, the Curvature tool. Now, as you practice, some of you might prefer to stick to Curvature tool for its versatility. Some would prefer the manual click and drag of the pen tool. And some would prefer to use both, depending on the design. But one thing is certain, Curvature tool is definitely more user-friendly for beginners or those who find the pen tool's manual control challenging. So guys, that's all about the Curvature tool. In the next video, we'll learn to create blends, which is another interesting topic, so stay tuned. Also, if you like this video, do hit the like button and please share the video and subscribe to my channel. And I shall be with you soon with the next one. Goodbye, and thanks for watching.